Hey you guys, what's up and welcome back to Two Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're getting our final review of Project Regeneration Volume 1 from Static X. Alright, so we spent the entire week listening to this album as much as we possibly could, and I'm going to hand the floor to TV Fish to let us know his thoughts.
Alright, so after listening to this album for the entire week, I have to say that I love it. I think this album is awesome. I think this album has so much energy into it, and I really think that this channels all the energy that the band had from Wisconsin Death Trip era of this band. I think what's interesting about this album that I kind of considered as I was listening to it is how difficult of an album this must have been to make. All you have are just, X amount of recordings from Wayne from multiple different eras of the band's life, which is also interesting. But it's like, okay, here are these vocal tracks with maybe a little bit of programming. Work on it,
Mm-hmm.
And they created as much magic as they could to breathe life into these songs. And, you look at songs like Terminator, Oscillator, All These Years, My Destruction, Otsego Placebo, and these honestly sound like songs that could fit on Wisconsin Death Trip. You have the original lineup with the original producer of that album all working together on this album, with Zero as well. And you can really just feel the energy. It's back. But one of the biggest things about this album that stood out to me is just the grooves. Everything just feels totally nasty. You can totally get down with it. Like, the whole week, I'm just jamming out to all these songs. Like, it was one of those albums where every day a new song became my favorite song. Like, wow, this one was sick. Oh, wow, this one's sick too. And it would just keep going for almost the majority. Like, the majority of this album is on my playlist. That's how much I was enjoying it.
Wow. You say some pretty convincing, compelling stuff there, and I can't really disagree with you, but I didn't have fun listening to this album all week. I can't obviously pinpoint exactly what it is, but I found myself getting bored very fast, and by very fast I mean like the second or third listen, I was over this. Like, I was just like, this is not what I'm in the mood for at all. The one reoccurring thought that I had throughout the week, and this was also a thought I had during the first impression, was that my 13-year-old self would love this. Because I was about 13 when Wisconsin Death Trip came out. I loved that album back then. It's not an album that I put on anymore. And I can't remember the last time I listened to it, but when I did listen to it, I don't even think I got all the way through it. For me, it didn't age well. That doesn't mean it didn't age well as an album, but I think my taste has just changed so much that it's just not something that just whets my music palate like it used to do. Can't say the same for other older albums that came out around that time. There's lots of albums from that era that I listen to today and love them with the same passion I did back then. But for some reason, it stands out on its own. There were a couple songs on this album though that I did like, and I'm not saying it's bad because it does have great energy. It does have good grooves and the rhythms are cool and stuff like that, and it's pumping and all that stuff. But it just lacked, I don't know, it just seemed very just redundant and just very like, almost like the same thing over and over again despite different riffs here and there. Power chord this, power chord that, chuggy this, chuggy that. I don't know. Anyways, the songs that stood out to me that I did gravitate towards were Terminator Oscillator, which is my favorite song. That song I think is really cool, and I probably will put it in my playlist. I just really like the energy of that. It's simple, but it pumps. It makes me feel how I want to feel when I listen to Static X. And the song right after that, which is All These Years, one of the singles that we reacted to, that song also grabbed me in a different sort of way, mostly because of the chorus. Super catchy. I just like the vocal thing he does in the chorus, where he does like a moan. It's kind of like a moan thing he does. Mm-hmm. It was a little different, but I thought that's kind of cool. It's kind of unique. I like that freshness. The rest of the album, other than the last song, which we commented on in the first impression, so I don't really feel like I need to say too much more about it here. Other than the rest of the album and the 6/8 part in the song Follow, which was another unique part, the rest of the album felt pretty flat to me. So Yeah, I don't know. My impression wasn't the best. I mean, I tried my best to really like it, and I just kept finding myself wanting to shut it off.
Well, one thing I wanted to comment on this album that also kind of stood out to me was the way that these tracks kind of work together. I feel like the vibe of this album takes you on a really good roller coaster. You have crazy songs like Terminator, Oscillator, and even Accelerate, stuff like that, but then the second half of the album, I think, does a great job at kind of taking you in a bunch of different directions, because you have My Destruction, which is really intense, crazy song, and then Something of My Own, which is a lot more melodically based, and then you got Otsego Placebo, which is crazy again, Follow, which is kind of in between, and then Dead Souls, which is, you know, a lot more open and atmospheric. So just even the second half alone kind of does that. I think every time I put this album on shuffle, it didn't feel like anything was out of place. Because some albums, when you put them on shuffle, it feels weird. It feels like, you know, this doesn't have the same experience. But I feel like you'll have the same experience with this album going forward and shuffling, just because it's a good balance of vibes.
Yeah, a song like Something of My Own, not a bad song, but I get so many Korn vibes from that song, and I love Korn, but this to me sounds like discount Korn. Like, it felt cheap. It felt like a knockoff or something like that. That song, I don't know.
I can see the comparison, and I kind of thought about that as well.
Yeah.
I just, you know, I didn't let that kind of ruin my experience with the song. I love the song, but I do see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. I honestly, like, it's hurting me right now that I don't have more good things to say about this. I never want to shit on an album and just say, oh, this sucks, I didn't enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. I want to bring positivity to this channel and to these videos, but I have to be honest. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna make it up and say, oh yeah, I loved it.
Like, I mean, that's what we're all about. Right? We're all about honesty on this channel.
So I wish there was more positive I could say. Like, the one song that had the Running Man quote, which was Otsego Placebo, that got annoying. I mean, it was annoying in the first impressions, because I was like, okay, cool, a sample
it was a bit
sample
overused.
from a movie that I like. There was actually another sample he used from that movie as well, when he goes,
time to start running.
It's time to start running.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I haven't seen the movie. Like, after we listened to the album, Vile told me about the movie, what it's about. And when I heard that sample in Terminator Oscillator, I'm like, that's gotta be from the same movie. It has to.
I didn't catch that on the first impression, but yeah, that's from it too. But 5 times, at least 5 times, I didn't count, like, properly, but I think it's five times they used the same sample, and I was like, man, like, listening to it the first time, I was like, okay, that's enough. Like, that was way too much. And then every time I played it, I'm like, oh god, here it is again, here it is again, here it is again. Overdone it. To me, that was a bad design choice. I'll tell you where I'll give some credit. I'll give some credit to the band for putting this together. Like you were saying at the beginning of the video, I still think they did a good job making this feel like Static X. And like I said, 13-year-old me would love this album, which tells me that they made an album that is akin to their older stuff, which is something that you want a band like this to do. You don't want them to make a new album minus their singer, their icon, and have it sound different. Exactly. That would be a travesty. Mm-hmm. That would be a complete travesty.
It would be really, like, messy if it's like you had the last recordings of Wayne and then have it not sound like Static X.
Exactly.
They did a great job at making it sound true to the band's sound.
Right. So I think it's a huge testament to the band that they were able to put this together and have it sound as authentic and genuine as it actually does.
And with that being said, let's rate this album. So Vile, what's your score for Project Regeneration Volume 1?
You guys are gonna hate me for this. Please don't downvote the video. If you guys are fans of this album and fans of this band, please don't downvote the video because of my shitty ass opinion rating. But I have a really hard time really justifying a good score for this. I'm actually bumping my score up from what I was gonna give it. I'm giving it a 4. I'm giving it a 4. I'm sorry. I don't know how to justify anything higher than that. I'm sorry.
Ouch. Anyway, I mean, I think this album does what it needs to do. If you're a fan of Static X, I think you'll love this album. Like, if you liked it, if you like what this band's about, you'll love what this album's about. It's a toe tag for me. I loved it. whole way through, I was loving this album until I stopped pressing play today.
Wow.
I thought this album just hit the right marks, man. Like it's straight. If you love Static X, you'll straight up love this album. And I think people who aren't into Static X can get into Static X with this album.
It is an accessible album if you like electronic or industrial
Yeah.
infused metal.
It is a little bit of an acquired taste, but I think
Yeah.
the groove aspect of it can draw people in.
Yeah, I think this might actually be our biggest spread of score. A
The
toe
only-
tag and a 4.
The only other time I've seen something like this was when we reviewed In Cauda Venenum by Opeth last year, which was a similar
Might have been
case.
similar, yeah.
I gave it a toe tag and you gave it a very low score. I don't know if it was 4 or lower.
I can't remember.
It was brutal.
Anyways, guys, that's it for this review. So leave a comment below and let us know if you agree with me or if you agree with TV Fish or just your own general thoughts on this album after listening to it throughout the week as well. That's it for this video, guys. So like it if you liked it. Be sure to come back each and every day to vote in our best metal band in the world tournament. That's it from us for now. I'm Vile Self.
I'm TV Fish.
We'll see you guys on the next one.